When you find a real estate platform that aligns everyone in the entire company financially by making us real estate agents owners, so when the average agent wins, everyone wins, that's the secret to success. And when you surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurial people who absolutely love what they do, they love serving people, they love God and life, and you put yourself in an environment of high energy, high producing, positive people every day, you can't help but succeed in business and life. We are changing the real estate industry and changing real estate agents' lives. Welcome to the Financial Freedom Forever podcast.
Well, hi, everyone. Man, I'm super excited to be talking with Benjamin Benomar and Lexi Willcocks. They're the co-owners and leaders at the Benomar Properties and team within here with us at EXP. Super excited to talk to you guys today with my rock star business partners here in Atlanta, Georgia. How you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing amazing.
Hey there, doing well. Thanks for having us, Andre.
Yeah, thanks for joining. We're super excited to kind of hear your story, kind of unpack your guys' real estate background and be able to share some golden nuggets with our listeners today. So thanks for jumping on our Financial Freedom Forever podcast, and everyone who's on. Any questions for these team leaders, definitely put them in the chat, and we can ask them any questions. And thanks for joining us. So tell me your background, guys. Your real estate history, your job history, and what just a little bit more information about you guys, so we know who the listeners are talking to.
You kick it.
You want me to start? All right. So we've been in real estate for about 5 years, and we actually started as investors. So, what attracted us to real estate in the first place was for that financial freedom. We found it to be a vehicle to do just that, But my background personally, again, I'm Benjamin Benomar, and my background is actually in engineering. So I was an engineer first, and then did IT consulting for about 5 years. And one thing led to the other. I think back in 2017, I bought my first house, and I was like, wow, there's something here. So we actually started off house hacking, and a couple years went by. We bought a second investment property, and I'm like, well, maybe I can take my consulting background and apply it to real estate. So got my realtor license and kicked it off. I made the big step to walk away from the 9-to-5 6-figure corporate job. And I said, I'm going to make a goal to make the same amount or more the first year of being a realtor. So basically burned the ships and jumped into the realtor game. And I can happily say that really surpassed that goal. So that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, and so Benjamin really did start off at first doing everything on his own, but my background is in social media marketing and content development. Specifically worked at a PR firm that handled commercial real estate clients for about 3 years. So it was kind of a natural progression to start doing the branding and social media for Benomar Properties, knowing that I was interested in getting my own license eventually as well. So I was kind of behind the scenes running all the social media, honestly doing majority of the contracts for Benjamin while he ran around and then clicked sign. So I learned the game behind the scenes while organizing everybody else's headshots, branding, everything that had to do with getting our name out there. And finally went and got licensed myself. I guess it was only a year ago now in the summer. So I quickly knew the game already because of that background, but then was also able to jump in and start doing transactions of our own. And yeah, that's kind of how the tag team started, left that job and did not look back at all because this is so much better.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome. I mean, being in the corporate world, how many people out there that are doing the same thing and kind of done with the grind of the corporate world, and being able to work for yourself in your own business. So congratulations for burning the boats, like you said, and jumping in. And you said your first goal was to surpass your 6-figure income your first year. Not too many real estate agents may be able to say that. Congratulations that you're able to do that. How many homes did you sell your first year, Benjamin? And And were you at a big, you don't have to mention the company, were you at a big franchise type company, a little independent?
Yeah.
What was
So,
that like?
being involved in the investor world, I joined a very small local investor-based brokerage, but I did about 45 transactions my
Wow,
first year.
that's
So kind
awesome.
of hit the ground running, and every quarter just got better and better. And by that fourth quarter, I think I did pretty much half of those 45 transactions. So Lexi was a big part of that, as she mentioned in the background.
Yeah, for sure.
But
He'd be coming back from a showing, text me the details. I'd pull all of the documents together, get everything set up, ready to go, pull the comps, know what we're doing. And before he even parked in the driveway, he would be done signing his part of the DocuSign to get it over to the client. So we were kind of a machine that first
Yeah.
year to knock things out as quickly as possible.
yeah, we really pulled on our diverse backgrounds and kind of just our past experience to make, our businesses more of a business and, process orient everything. And by the first year after those 45 transactions, Lexi quit her job. And we were like, well, what's next? So we decided to quickly grow a team and help others within, local Atlanta to do the same thing. So a lot of the agents that we've attracted are a little bit newer, also want to quit that 9 to 5, jump into it. We've put together a training program for that. And, we're proud to say that we're up to 11 agents now.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Great job, guys. So tell us, how did you hear about EXP? And what were the top one or two, three things that really excited you about it? And let's start there.
Yeah, I think it happened, we ended up joining in January, but we really started to hear about it on our holiday break in December, right? We had some downtime and we've sort of heard of the EXP buzz in the past from one person or the other. And, we just kind of started to really look into it. And I think, Andre, that's about the same time when we made the connection. You kind of helped us understand a little bit about our group and some of the benefits. And, we were pretty much sold at that point for all the different advantages and pros compared to the brokerage we were part of in the past.
Yeah, we previously were, like Benjamin said, with a very small independent broker. They were completely just greater Atlanta area based. And Benjamin was actually the first agent in the brokerage aside from the brokers at that time. So you can picture how small it was.
Right.
We did in that small brokerage, with me joining and us bringing on other team members, there was another 1 or 2 agents outside of our team as well, but it was fairly small, about 15 to 20 agents in total by the time that we decided to become bigger fish from the little pond, or whatever word I want to say. And the reason that we outgrew that old broker was that the benefits were not there compared to what EXP was offering. And I was very skeptical at first, honestly. We did do our due diligence, talking to Andre, talking to even other EXP members that were in other states. But a big appeal of this, beyond, the revenue share, the ability to sponsor and grow a team, to have flexible teams, was also just what EXP is and the international appeal behind that. Benjamin and mine's background from a more personal standpoint is I'm from Canada originally, and Benjamin's background's all over the place of being half Moroccan, half Austrian, grew up in France, and then moved to Florida as a kid. So we have a very diverse international background, and a big appeal of EXP is that regardless of where we want to end up in our lives, if that's in another state or Canada or somewhere else in the world, we can still continue our business, and EXP doesn't change with that move as much, aside from needing to pick up other licenses, of course. So that from us was offering some stability to continue to build our brand, continue to build our team. And regardless of the Benomar Properties team growing, there's also just so many more benefits to sponsoring people from around the world that we were very excited by.
Yeah, I think, Lexi nailed it when it comes to the two top reasons why we came over the EXP. It was the international presence. But, the second thing is going back to our goal of why we got into real estate in the first place was to reach that financial freedom. When we heard that was possible with EXP, it was sort of a double whammy. Well, let's continue to be successful and get passive income from our investment properties. But EXP is an investment as well and allows us to gain that passive income and thus helping us get financial freedom just a little bit faster. So that was probably the biggest reason that we ended up jumping on board.
Yeah, and to throw in one last fun fact was that all 5 of us that was on the team, Benomar Properties team together at our old broker, every single person left with us and came to EXP. Nobody stayed behind. So that kind of shows that regardless of those backgrounds, everyone on our team is a very different, unique person, and everyone saw the appeal of EXP and decided to join EXP with us.
Awesome. And that shows a lot about you as leaders, right? Your team members trust you, love you, and know if you see it, they're probably going to see it as well. So that's fantastic. So you came over to EXP with 5 agents total, right? So the 2 of you and 3 others, is that correct?
Trying to add it up now.
I think it was us and 4 others?
Yeah, I think I missed myself in that count. So 6 total.
So 6 total. And and now you have 11, and you've been with EXP for what, 9? Is it 9 months?
About
9 months.
Coming up on 9 months.
We joined in January.
So what was some of the major factors in your team, your personal team, growing from 6 to 11 in that short period of time? Because I know you guys aren't really focused on agent attraction as much as you are growing your businesses and selling more houses. Because and we'll talk about that in a second too. How many homes are you guys selling now and that kind of thing. But one thing at a time.
Yeah, I think just to comment on some of that. We basically, since joining, like you pointed out, Andre, we doubled the size of our team. The answer to a transaction question, we probably doubled the number of transactions as a team as well. We're well on track for that this year. One of the big reasons, as well, is the training that EXP provides and the ability to just have some of those tools available really freed up our time to handle more agents, to handle more transactions. So that I would say that's also a big reasons why we looked at EXP as another vehicle to just continue our growth and success, is because of the efficiency of the tools and of the time that we used to spend. We can now focus on growing the team.
Mm-hmm. There's every time we would meet with someone, like you said, we haven't been overly focused on agent attraction. It's been more natural word of mouth and people who are interested in getting into the industry or interested in switching from, they're usually at a small broker, much like we used to be, and talking about the benefits. It's funny how I've heard word for word from a couple of people who ended up joining, oh, this just seems too good to be true. But what I realized after doing our due diligence too was that, like I said, I was kind of skeptical. I was wondering, is this like a pyramid scheme? Is this something horrible? There's got to be a hidden meaning underneath all of this. But the reality of that was we are being rewarded so much more than you could imagine for doing the exact same business and same product that we would be doing at any other brokerage. So when I thought of it in that way, and that's what I explained to a lot of people that end up joining too, is that you're going to sell a house, or you have the capability to sell a house no matter where you hang your license. But if you hang your license with EXP, you get XYZ. So why not, get those benefits and be able to create passive income and be part of a bigger network that allows you to grow into something much bigger than being stuck in one location, for example. So, there's a whole other list of, the EXP onboarding experience of all the benefits and everything too. But that has been a really big part of why we were able to just naturally meet people. And I think tell them our story and for them to understand and realize that they can be doing the same thing.
I think it's something like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Andre, it's like 50% of the revenue EXP brings in, they're basically committed to giving back to, EXP agents. So it's pretty staggering. I don't know of any other brokerage that's, willing to do that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's 50% of the revenue, and not the profit either. It's 50% of the revenue. So they keep 50% to pay the employees and run the company and do everything they need. But they give back 50% of the revenue to the agents that are helping growing it. So yeah, I mean, in the past, you have the owner of the company up here who's usually a billionaire if they're at a pretty big company, and then you have the franchise owners, the people that spend $400,000 or $500,000 to buy a franchise, and then all the managers and recruiters and so forth in the middle. Then you have the agents down here in the bottom that are the ones out selling all the houses. They're the ones sharing why they're happy at their company and actually usually helping the company grow. And Glenn Sanford, the owner, when he figured this model out, he just flipped it upside down. And yeah, you still have the owner who's a billionaire on the top, and underneath him are all the agents, and we are the owners. There's 5 ways that we get stock in the company, right? As soon as you sold your first house, you got stock. When you shared this with your team members who jumped on your team, when they sold their first house, they got stock. And instead of you guys getting a $10 Starbucks thank you card, you got another stock award, $400 stock award for that. So yeah, it's been an amazing trip for me as well, being an owner and a partner with everyone in the company. It's pretty cool. So let me ask you, what was the most difficult part of being a small team when you're at the independent, and what did you struggle with the most in the past? And when moving over to EXP, how did that help and solve that problem for you?
I think the main thing was that we needed to be 100% hands-on with every single member individually all the time. And like, to give an example, and Benjamin can probably say this story better, but when he first wanted to write an offer for the very first time, he was put on a Google video chat or something for 15 minutes, and they showed him the purchase and sale agreement and said, all right, good luck, and kind of just sent him on his way. And there was really no resources. Wasn't a lot of the time you do need hand holding, and you need guidance, you need other resources, you need video tutorials, these sorts of things. And that wasn't really present at a small operation to the extent that I think a lot of people need. And we certainly still, even at EXP, regardless of moving, we definitely still, make the time to have one-on-one meetings with our agents on our team and make sure they're doing well. But what we're grateful for and what has given us a load off is that we can link to different EXP training modules, as well as our NAEA training modules and events and different things like that, to kind of take the pressure off of us a little bit. There's other resources involved. There's other people to talk to. EXP has compliance people to talk to, and SkySlope, and all these other resources that when it comes to some specific questions, we know that there's someone else that has our back to let the agent on our team reach out and have that question answered if needed. And so it's just having that greater scale of resources available that comes with the corporate side of EXP that we did not have before.
All right, awesome. Yeah. I mean, EXP offers 50 to 60 hours of training every single week, right, in the cloud office. So you don't have to fight traffic, and if it's 100 degrees out, you don't have to run around in the heat. You can just jump on your computer and get to those trainings immediately. And then, of course, because our group, we get the free access to the NAEA, National Association of Expert Advisors Coaching and Training. I know you guys came to our get together. We actually flew in John Kitchens and Joel Hollow, the guys that teach the boot camp on how to just sell more houses, and we went through the listing presentations and the buyer presentations. We flew them into Atlanta here to our group there a few months back, and you guys came attended that live meeting with a lot of your team members. Tell me how that live training was for you guys and your team members, and how that's helped your business.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I mean, just to be connected with everyone in Atlanta that was also part of it, but also, like you said, people flying in from all over. We just got a well-rounded sort of walkthrough of the entire just 101 buying and selling process. And but I think about half of our team was able to make it to the event. It was a full sort of 2-day event, and just the network that we were able to create out of it, the sort of little tips and nuggets that we were able to get, we still use these every single day. And just to see and talk to someone in Texas or Idaho or wherever that flew in, and how they're approaching their buyers and sellers, and sharing that experience kind of just helps make you a better agent and a better leader altogether.
Yeah, a lot of our agents are brand new, and aside from the training that we've been able to offer them so far and the resources we've been able to connect them to so far, I think it was in COVID times too, it was the first in-person thing that a lot of us had been able to attend and get together. And especially for, I think, the people who are just getting into, their first or second or third transaction, to see, a full presentation laid out from start to finish of all the steps on both the buying and selling side, how to be confident in what you're saying, how to keep conversations going. They even touched on marketing, which I pride myself in already having like a very good background and training in, but to have little extra opinions and, like Benjamin said, nuggets of info that we can implement from other people being successful is always very, very useful.
And we had a lot of fun too, right? I mean, at the end of the first day, we had it at an area that we could go to Top Golf, right? And we all had a drink and just had some fun together with our team and the people around the country. So that was cool. Now you mentioned that you have a lot of people on your team that are new. So let's talk about your team real quick. And what are you looking for in a team member? If there's anyone listening out there that's thinking about wanting to join either a traditional team like you guys have, or even be a solo agent but be connected to you because they're here in Atlanta and would like some of the leadership and things that you offer. What are you looking for? And tell us a little bit about your structure, because there's different team structures within EXP, how you guys got yours set up, and we got your phone numbers rolling there so they can reach out to you if they have any questions or want to talk to you about that too.
Yeah, I'll kick it off. We are happy that we have a self-organized team within EXP. There's 2 different models, and honestly, the name of the other structure is escaping me at the moment because we didn't want to do that one. Let me mute that. The structure that we chose best suited us because it was, first of all, not a change from our previous broker, but also just made more sense for the long-term growth of everyone involved. And that was that we didn't want to take a constant cut from every agent on our team. The other structure that you can sign up for as a team lead is always taking a certain percentage away from the agents, no matter where the lead comes from. Or so, for example, you would constantly take 25% of your agent's commission. We chose not to do that. We are self-organized, meaning that we could create our own rules for lead distribution and commission splits, how those are aligned. But what we really wanted to maintain was that if you close your own deal, you keep 100% of that commission because it's your lead. We didn't want to say, oh, you're selling your mom's house, well, give us 25%. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So maintaining that people can build their own business and use their networks to their advantage without taking insane cuts away, as well as eventually do the same things for themselves. So if they end up wanting to sponsor people, if they bring people to the Benomar Properties team or not, however they end up joining, they can choose to do the same model. If they want to become a team lead eventually themselves and do their own thing, it doesn't really affect us, because luckily with EXP, we do have these sponsor lines. So we knew that for the long-term growth and success of everybody involved, no matter if they are our direct sponsoree or down from there, they can do whatever they want, and them coming or going from the team itself doesn't really change that fact for us. We just want we want everyone to continue to be successful through the years to come.
To put it briefly, we ran away from the corporate structure. So, the traditional way and traditional brokerage is like, sort of like a pyramid style. And their biggest problem for brokerages is the high turnover rate. So we wanted to create a team that was flexible, that was lean, that everybody could grow and basically have unlimited growth, and be able to create their team. So those are some of, the things we wanted to make sure to stay true to. But as far as different agents, like we said, a lot of ours don't have as much experience. We look for people, that are compassionate. Some of our other core values are just hardworking, skilled people that are independent, that want to be sort of their little mini CEO of their business and be entrepreneurial. So it kind of everything aligns with that, the XP model, Benomar properties in our team structure. So it all kind of works together and aligns well. That's a little bit more about how we're structured.
I love what you guys have set up. I mean, you're, great leaders, and you've really, in just a few years, have surpassed a lot of new agents in getting the business, and building your team, and you're bringing up people, and you're giving them access to absolutely 100% of everything that you have access to, including to be able to hit the Icon Agent Award, where they get their entire cap back from EXP and EXPI stock. Now, I know, you guys, how long did it take you to cap, where you went to 100%? And then how long did it take for you to Icon? Because I know you Icon, and explain to who's listening what that means to you.
I think we were on a roll there. We joined in January, and then we capped in March.
No, it was early April.
First week of April. It was like maybe 2.5 months. We capped really, really fast. So we love that. Since then, we've had 100%, the commission in our pocket, which is awesome. And then we sort of, weren't keeping track too much, but I guess we just kept going and going. And what was it, last month or 2 months ago, we got the Icon Agent Award, which I believe is 20 more transactions personally after the cap, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. So that was a pleasant bonus. We were essentially well on our way to getting our entire cap, the $16,000 that we paid out of our cap, back in stock. So I think we just got our first large stock award this past couple weeks.
We just did the Icon Agent interview phone call, and that's when they let you know that you are getting the $8,000 part back. So that was very exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As far as what it means, I mean, man, what does it mean, Lex? I feel like
it's a good sign of what it means that, we have these benefits available to us. That was something that was, as far as being able to cap so quickly and to have even a lower cap than we were used to, with it being only $16,000. And then to even just have rewards beyond that, you'd think that most brokers would say, okay, you're already getting 100%, like, see you next year. But
no other company that I've ever seen. I mean, you pay a percentage to the company, and then you cap and go to 100%. But you never get it back, no matter, I mean, if you hit, 20, 30, 40 transactions or whatever it might be at different companies, they keep that money. They have to pay the bills and keep the lights on. But because we're virtual and we don't have the billions of dollars that the company's got to spend in taxes and buildings and all that kind of thing, they're able to give these kind of bonuses. So instead of getting a hat, and I know a lot of friends of mine, they get a little pin with a fake ruby in it. that says they're a Diamond Award winner or whatever they are. You can't take that to the bank, right? But you guys are going to get your entire $16,000 back in EXPI stock, right? 8,000 you get back right away. It does take 2 years to vest, and you get another 4,000. It takes 3 years to vest, which is a perfect. It's better than a $25 gift card, that's for sure. But it's kind of like a built-in retirement plan. If they give it to you back immediately, it's at face value. Most people, you pay 16 grand and you get the 16 grand back, they'd be happy with that, right? Anyone would be ecstatic. But with the model that they've set up, you get it back in 2 years or 3 years. But as the stocks continue to go up, now they go up and down, so we can't guarantee what's going to happen. But I know when I joined, it was $8.15 2.5 years ago. And before the stock split a few months back, it was $45 a share. So that's like $90 a share to us because we got double the stock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine where it's going to be, 2 to 3 years from now when you can cash that in, or 10 or 15 or 20 years from now when you guys want to, retire. So it's a beautiful retirement plan, because as the company continues to grow and that continues to go up, you may get 2, 3, 4, 10 times back what you paid in. And what an award, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it'll be fun to see that grow, hopefully.
We only had about 16,000 agents when I joined a couple years ago, and we just hit 65,000 a week or two ago.
Yeah.
In 13 or 14 countries. Mm-hmm. So the global presence is pretty cool. A couple other questions. What surprised you most about EXP? What were you not expecting when you joined the company that's better than you thought it would be?
I think one of the things that comes to mind, especially coming from such a small broker where honestly nobody knew the name of it, but EXP does have the name recognition, which I enjoy. And I think one of the fun parts is especially when I do a deal with another EXP agent, and it is kind of like a bonding moment to get them on the phone and be like, hey, EXP, what's up? And I think that experience was surprising because it was nothing that we had been able to experience before. So anyway, it just makes for more of a pleasant transaction experience because you already kind of have that camaraderie from the start.
Yeah, everyone, what surprised us the most, I think what Lexi is sort of alluding to is the people. Everyone's down to earth. No matter how big or small you are, you kind of have access to everyone. And, being virtual, we're just really tapped in and can reach out to anyone. So referrals has been another huge thing where we use a lot of our, online resources to connect referrals across the world. So, that was really surprising how well connected and how great the people are.
Yeah, I think I remember when we did in my previous career, especially in commercial real estate, was meeting a lot of other companies, and I'll never name names, but there is like some big headedness out there in the industry, and there's not really been that, which is refreshing. Like, I think we pride ourselves on trying to be as down to earth and relatable as possible. And we do hold ourselves, to a high level of, what's the word I'm looking for? A high level of prestige of sorts for the way that we want to operate our business. But at the same time, we never want to be like snooty. We don't want to be somebody that, anyone who's just starting or has been in the game for 40 years can't come and talk to and have a good time with. So that seems to be a pretty good experience across the board, which we really appreciate.
I really love that there really doesn't feel to be a competition. And in other companies that I've been at, there seems to be, there's a competition that you're kind of fighting for some of the same business, right? And your friends, you become friends with people in the office, even if they're not on your team, within the company. And you'll help them a little bit, but will you give them your entire listing presentation? Will you give them all the bells and whistles and the gold nuggets that you paid maybe in the past to learn things? Give them your listing buyer presentation. You don't really do that. And here, I have team members call or text me 9, 10 o'clock at night on the weekend for something, or I saw somebody put on our private Facebook page, hey, I got a luxury listing, first one I'm doing. Anyone have a luxury listing presentation I can borrow or use? And they're like 3 people put theirs in the private Facebook page. So that's really refreshing to me that there's not that commentation. And I think it's just because of the model that as we help each other grow, even if you're not on our team, you could be in a different team in a different state. But if we help you grow and EXP just continues to rise in the charts of selling the most homes around the world, the stock prices go up and we're all sharing that because we're all owners. So it's just a brilliant thing. I want to have a shout out there to some of the guys and girls listening here, to Beth and Frank, Kathy, thanks for joining us. Ben and Amy, if you got any questions, guys, for Lexi or Benjamin, please put them in the chat and we'll try to answer them before we finish up here. But a couple just other questions. I know some of the big questions for agents are, what kind of support do you get from like the local broker? You've mentioned about the team and the people in your senior business partners. Obviously, we get a lot of we help as much as we can because we're all partners. But what about the independent Georgia brokers? Have you had much communications with them and needed help from them? And how can you reach them in a cloud-based company like this? Any challenges with that?
No, it's been pretty easy and straightforward. We've got 2 brokers in Georgia here. And, I even remember back when we were getting onboarded, right? It's a lot of moving parts bringing on 6, 7 people over to one broker from one broker to the other, right? And not only was there basically a team helping us through that entire transition, but throughout the process, there were a few questions and a few curveballs, and we were able to just text our broker, which was pretty amazing.
I had her on iMessage just to be like, hey, quick question. This is me texting you, and I just need this and that to get this onboarding thing done. Or I have a question for this person who's joining now. And she was able to respond within like an hour, and having that be direct. And even on the other side of it, in the Facebook Workplace for EXP, there's a whole chat system there as well. So it is very easy to reach out to people, whether that's text, email, chat, which we definitely appreciated.
You just need to know their name and it's at your fingertips. You can message them right away. You don't have to know any of their contact information, but it's all sort of right there and made easy. So it's been pretty awesome. And I know recently, especially in Georgia, at least with our brokers, they've been really involved in trying to get everyone together. There's been several lunches and dinners and things coming out, where you can meet the broker face to face. So it's pretty awesome. The EXP world as well. You can just walk in right into their office. If they're there, you can talk to them. So there's a lot of ways, and we haven't really felt like we had any challenges with, interacting with anyone all the way up to our brokers.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Have you guys had time, and I know you've been selling a lot of properties, and we went to the live event there together. Has your agents been able to take advantage of the social media platforms with the private Honey Badger Facebook page that I know there's training on there Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays just for our group. And we have our Financial Freedom Forever private Facebook page for our team as well, with a lot of the documents and just a lot of things. Have they taken advantage of that much, and has that helped them at all?
The main thing I check every day is the Honey Badger Facebook group, just because it's both entertaining as far as like a community aspect goes and everyone networking and telling their stories, but also from a referral standpoint.
Right.
I go in there all the time and just search Atlanta to see if anyone's posting about needing help in Atlanta, because that's a big part of the networking is so good that we have, a couple thousand people in there who are all over the US and I believe also in Canada. So For example, it's like if I had, one of my good friends wanting to buy something in Toronto, I can probably post it in there and they will, somebody in EXP that I directly can get a referral from will be in there. And vice versa. I know Benjamin's posted, as well as another team member. We've had people do deals in Florida that we've referred out through the Facebook group and stuff like that. So it's a very easy way to get connected.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun with referrals, like you mentioned. I mean, I literally have about 250 team members just in Ontario, Canada. So for Toronto and anywhere in Ontario, and in other provinces as well. And I think we're in 27 states, just our little team. I remember I gave one referral to a guy in New York, and it was one of my team members, Tim, in North Carolina, that texted me even before putting on the Facebook page. It was before I set up our personal Facebook page. He said, "Hey, do we have anyone in New York?" And I said, "Yeah, we got Charlie." So I set those guys up together, and Charlie ended up selling, I think it was like a $1 or $2 or $3 million property, and got a nice, 30, I think it was a $30,000 commission. And Tim, he got, I don't remember exactly his amount, but it was several thousands of dollars worth of a referral fee. And because they're all in my network, I got a little piece of that as well. So we're all helping our family in our group, within our big EXP family group, to just sell more houses. Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely take advantage of that.
If there was just one takeaway that you guys wanted to make sure that anyone that's listening here, any of your close friends or people that you really care about that are in real estate, what do you want to make sure that they understood and took away from this interview today?
I would say that, first of all, getting into real estate was probably the best financial and long-term plan that we could have figured out for ourselves. And it kind of feels like sometimes it came out of nowhere. If you would have asked us 5 years ago if we would be doing this, we probably would have been like, what? But it all ended up making so much sense, especially given our backgrounds in partnership. So on that note, if you're considering getting into a real estate career, I think that we have kind of done the groundwork to figure out launching, a lot of people into starting that career. But at the same time too, if people are just even interested in learning about the market or anything like that, luckily, I think becoming EXP agents has just made us even more knowledgeable and experienced in our short time of being full-time in real estate to really understand this market and do the best job that we can on both buying and selling for our entire team.
Yeah, it's all about financial freedom. And, we truly believe that real estate is the best vehicle to achieve that. Investment properties, and then the brokerage is, EXP is, I'd say, is by far the best brokerage and model we've seen to also help with that. So it's all about financial freedom. We all want to be more flexible, live longer, be able to play harder and work less. And I think EXP is the way to go to be able to achieve that faster.
Yeah, you have the multiple streams of income, right? In the old days, I ask people, how many real estate retirement parties have you gone to? I've never been to one in 30 years. Been to a few funerals, because real estate agents normally continue going and going and going until they die. They don't get off the hamster wheel. And yeah, I believe I got maybe 10 years more, and I want to slow down. And you can always continue selling, but you want to be able to have multiple streams of income coming in even after you start slowing down. If you want to go from 30 and actually go down to 20 or 10 homes a year, a lot of agents can't do that if they haven't set up their finances well over the years and other properties and such. But because of the stock ownership, because of the revenue share, and the other multiple streams of income that EXP set up for us, heck, we even have group health insurance now, right? So they set things up so when we want to slow down and get off the hamster wheel someday, especially if we built a team either locally or globally, we're able to do that. That's what I'm super excited about. But one of my last questions, if you could join EXP all over again, would you do anything differently? If would you have done more due diligence? Would you have joined faster? Is there any mistakes that you made along the way when taking a look at it? And if you don't mind sharing that, so we all like to, we want to share, any mistakes or things that we've learned along the way to other agents that may have heard about it but haven't really took a look at it. What would you say about that?
It's hard to think of anything, honestly. I feel like, we did just the right amount of due diligence.
Right.
We pretty much joined and took advantage of all the benefits as soon as we could. The one advice maybe to others is, don't burn any bridges leaving where you left, and, continue to keep all your doors open. It's a small world out there. So, I'd say maybe the only mistake we made is maybe not having our eyes open soon enough to the model and knowing what EXP is. And, that's part of all of our goals here, Andre, to share the wealth, share the knowledge of EXP, and that it is a better and greater model. So, I don't think we made any mistakes other than not joining early enough.
The good thing I will say is that, like, we learned what we learned by being at such a small broker beforehand, and then it was the timing was exactly right, I think, for what we needed, because we were on a Christmas break during COVID, went to Canada for a full month. We were cooped up in a quarantine Airbnb. And in that time was when Benjamin had already been contacted by you, Andre, and we kind of started doing a lot of research, looked at other people, watched a lot of videos about EXP. And like I said, I was very skeptical, but eventually learned a lot about it and was very accepting, and obviously ended up here we are. That is to say, it was a very good time for us at the start of 2021 to make that jump. I feel like if we had waited extra months to make the decision and gotten into the year, like setting your calendar start for when you join and your anniversary date and everything worked out perfectly for us, so that we could really hit the ground running in the new year and, finish that cap out very quickly, and then jumped into the busy spring and summer season. So no regrets on that front, that's for sure.
Well, kudos to you for being open-minded. Like you said, you're a little skeptical. Most of us are, especially when you start hearing about all the benefits and the tools and the systems. I mean, we get $1,000 worth of technology through SkySlope and KV Core lead generation systems, all included in our little $85 a month. It's almost hard to believe. Some people think it's too good to be true. But kudos to you for doing your due diligence, really checking it out, getting all your questions answered, and being open. I hear a lot of people that we talk to, they're comfortable. They've been where they are at for 5 years, 10 years, 20 and 30 years maybe, and they're comfortable. But man, being comfortable is the worst thing as far as getting to the next level and changing people's lives, right? So I just tell people, hey, just do your due diligence and do the math. Really put a pencil to the paper. Get with whoever shared it with you. Don't do it by yourself. You wanna because you don't know what you don't know, right? And I tell people, don't assume anything, because once you get your questions answered, you normally find out it's a lot better than what you think. I also like to share people. It would actually be financially irresponsible of any real estate agent not to do their homework and do the math for their families, because for some people it's about the insurance. For some people, we've been able to save $125,000 because they may only have a 95-5 split, but they got no cap, and they're a big producer, and they're paying out $100,000 plus to their broker, and with EXP it's 16 grand, right? And then if you're on a team, there are other models where you can be on an $8,000 cap, or if you're a mega team with 10 agents or more, the team members can be on a $4,000 cap. That's out there as well. So no matter if you're a brand new agent or been in where you are for 30 years, hey, if you got even 2 to 5 years left in your career, making a move is not fun. But changing your life and the financial freedom of your kids and your grandkids' lives is pretty rewarding. One big thing that I was excited about is, the revenue share that you may get, from your, what the company pays us back for helping the company grow. I know people, hey, they're making $500 a month or $1,000 a month. That's paying their car payment or their mortgage. I know guys that are making two to 10 to really 100 times that. But no matter if it's $1,000 a month or if it's 10,000 or 30,000 a month or whatever it might be, if something were to happen when the good Lord takes you home, that's you can give it to your kids, your kids, your grandkids. They have 12 months to get their real estate license, join EXP, pay the $85 a month. They don't even have to sell a house, but they have to get their license because it is commission income. But think about that, guys. The revenue share that you guys will create over your couple of decades of your real estate career. You're going to be able to hand that down to your kids and maybe grandkids. I don't know of any other company that has ever done that. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Mm-hmm. We're always excited that in that research, it makes the most sense out of everything we've ever seen to just have that long-term success and long-term options. So that's always what we're thinking of. And I guess that is the financial freedom forever mentality. So exactly. That's what we wanted to accomplish here.
Well, hey, man, I really thank you guys for jumping on here today on our podcast. I'm super excited and grateful that you're, part of our network and my personal business partners. One last quick question before we sign off. If you're a reader, what's your best inspirational book that you really love? Or if you're a movie watcher, what's your favorite movie of all time? We'd love to hear what you guys think about that.
There's so many of them. We actually just moved, so our bookshelf is empty right now.
Excuse the background.
We promise we have lots and lots of books. But there's one book, and it's a classic. It's been said 100 times that I probably try to read every year. It's the Think and Grow Rich. And I've got the workbook as well. And that just kind of opened up my mindset of thinking bigger. And again, the EXP model is always thinking bigger and helping us achieve more. So Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That's right. Definitely a classic. That's probably one of the first ones I read years ago. And from then on, it just kind of gets everything started. And there's plenty of books that, are based off of that. So that's a classic for me personally.
Right, awesome.
From the movie standpoint, if we want more of the feel-good vibe rather than educational, and I was thinking about this question. I was like, my favorite movie of all time is About Time with Domhnall Gleeson and Rachel McAdams, and it might sound a bit cheesy, but it's entirely about the balance of life, and that's a big part of it's even in our team agreement of being balanced because we want to work hard and play hard. And that's part of why I love that movie so much, is that it's about treasuring every moment of your life between friends, family, romance, sad times, good times, etc. If you haven't seen About Time, it's a very feel good, very nice British.
Right, awesome. I haven't seen that one. I'm going to have to check that out. That's awesome. Well, thanks for that. Thanks so much for joining us today on our Financial Freedom Forever podcast. We'll see everyone next Wednesday, same time, same place. And thanks again, Lexi and Benjamin, for joining us today.
Thanks for having us, Andre.
All right. Have a good day. God bless.